To get started on our easy spicy peanut veggies with noodle stir fry, we're just going to need a few simple ingredients, and that is I've got around 8 ounces of a skinny wheat Asian noodle. Now, you can use something like, I find this is pretty close to like an angel hair, but I think it stays together a little bit better, so I actually prefer this. We're also going to be using 1 tablespoon of, spicy chili paste. Now that is a garlic chili paste. It is kind of the similar brand as sriracha. We also have 1 teaspoon of, I'm using coconut aminos. You can use liquid aminos, you can use soy sauce, you can use tamari, really, but I enjoy the coconut aminos. We're also going to be using 1 tablespoon of rice wine vinegar, and then a tablespoon of a defatted peanut powder. Now, if you do not have a defatted peanut powder and you're not necessarily worried about trying to keep this as a lower fat dish, you can always use a tablespoon of full fat peanut butter. And then for our vegetables, I'm going to be using 2 frozen bags of veggies, and one is going to be green beans, and then the other is going to be broccoli. Now you can interchange these as much as you'd like. I personally really like the broccoli and the green beans with this. We're also going to be doing this on the stovetop. I've got my pot with water boiling, and then I have my steamer basket on top for the veggies. I find this works really well. If you do not have this, you can always use different methods. A lot of the bags are microwave safe, so you can just microwave them. Make sure that they are, but you can go ahead and do that. But to get started, since these are a smaller noodle, which cook much quicker than, say, a thicker rice type noodle, all we're going to do is take our veggies, open up our steamer basket, and we're going to get them in there for around 10 minutes before we go ahead and add our noodles. So I go right in there. Now I will say, getting started, one really easy way to make sure that you can add in some vegetables and you have them around are these freezer safe, or these freezer bags. They are really great. A lot of times they're keep in a lot more nutrients than even, say, a fresh vegetable that you might have at the market, just because the shipping, and when they get these, they pick them at perfect ripeness. So I'm going to open this one up, and I'm going to use my teeth again. I know I did that in a previous episode and got quite a few mentions on that. Now I will say, if you are watching this, you do enjoy the recipe videos, if you go ahead and like and share this post with your friends and family on Facebook, it really helps spread the plant-based message. But for this, we are just going to cover this. I've got this on a good rolling boil, and we're going to let that go for 10 minutes, and we'll be back to get our noodles in, and then we can get started on our sauce. All right, our 10-minute timer just went off. The veggies have softened up quite a bit. Now I will mention, I personally enjoy my green beans and broccoli to be pretty tender. If you're someone who likes it a little bit more al dente, you can always cut that time in half to about 5 minutes. But next, we're just going to go ahead, add in our noodles. Now these noodles, you're going to want to check the bag for your individual directions. But for these noodles, I have it says about 3 to 5 minutes, and so we'll go in for about 4 minutes, and that should be good. Just get them in there mixing. I really like these noodles. I find that they stick together pretty well. I don't have, there's my timer. I don't have too many problems with them, so we're going to put that to 4 minutes. Add that in. All right, now we can get started on our sauce. So it's just going to be all these ingredients. I first like to add in my peanut powder, and then we've got our rice wine vinegar, we've got our liquid aminos, coconut aminos, soy sauce, whatever you'd like, a tablespoon or teaspoon of that, excuse me. And then we have our chili paste. Now I'm using a garlic chili paste, but any chili paste will work. Spicier the better if you ask me. Now, really simple. We're just going to mix it in. Now you can put this on the stovetop and simmer it. Personally, I find that it works just as well if I just mix it all together and just have it ready. So we're going to get this nice and mixed up. Just make sure that peanut powder gets dissolved in there well. That looks about perfect. Now, I am going to go get a dish ready. Once the noodles are done, we're going to take them over to the sink. We're going to drain them, and then one trick I like to use is actually I just pull this lid off and I'll just drain them over the veggies so that then the noodles and the veggies become kind of one. So we're going to do that once our timer's off. So I'll be back here in just a minute. After I get them nice and drained, we'll be back here to give it a try. We've got the drained noodles with the veggies. Now I am just going to add this in, set that to the side. Now, and then we go ahead and we can add in our spicy peanut sauce. Make sure that gets all in there. Perfect. Now I just like to use some of my chopsticks. Get them in there. Make sure the sauce gets nice and mixed. That looks great. Then we can get a dish of this bowled up, which perfectly, I have this right here. So we are going to go ahead. We can just use some of the chopsticks. Some of our noodles. And get some veg in there. I'll use my spoon, but that looks delicious. You can always get a better spoon for this, but this will work perfect for our needs in it. So we've got our spicy peanuts with veggie noodle stir fry. So a really simple dish, and I got out some sriracha that I like to add on top, and then a little bit of white sesame seeds. Add a little bit of a crunch. So that is exactly how I like to eat it. A perfect combination, and I think it's time to give this a try. That is fantastic. We've got a great richness that the peanut powder adds, the spiciness that a little bit of the sriracha adds, but also the spiciness that you can get from the chili garlic paste. You also get a little bit of that umami from the coconut aminos, and then I really like that little bit of zing that you get from the rice wine vinegar. It really comes together perfectly. This is a dish that Dr. Miller and myself will have. We'll have this once a week or so, different variations of it. The nice thing is, hey, you've got a couple bags of frozen veggies in your freezer. Great. Toss them in, steam them up, mix them in with your noodles, mix them in with rice. It comes out great every time. I really hope you guys give this one a try. And you can always lessen, if you're not someone who likes it spicy, you can always lessen the amount. You don't have to add the sriracha, but you can always lessen the amount of the spicy garlic chili paste to maybe a teaspoon. And if that's still too spicy, you can always omit it. But if you don't have the spicy chili paste, you can always add in, and you want it spicy, you can always add in some crushed red pepper flakes. But this is a great dish, one that you can do a ton of different variations to. This is a really base example of how I like the dish. Sometimes I'll actually leave some of that noodle water in there, so the pasta water in there, so that it can kind of become more of like a ramen, and we can kind of just simmer it in there. So a ton of different variations, ones that I'm sure I'll cover here in the future, but a really great dish that I hope you give a try. If you did like this video, please go ahead and share it with all your friends and family. Make sure you hit the like button, subscribe on YouTube and Facebook, and as always, this recipe, my past and future recipes, can all be found at plantbasedgabriel.com. I am Plant-Based Gabriel, and after all this cooking and this talking, I am hungry, so I'm going to finish this bowl.